Thank you, Ravi, for calling me here. And in this Batcheet, nowadays, Batcheet is quite dangerous, I'm told. You can be, I mean, anything can be interpreted as anti-national, and then plus you may be taken to, while you're being produced in the court, there may be some nice gentlemen who will even beat you up. So, but anyway, that doesn't matter. I think I'll start off with among the other things which Kanhaiya Kumar said, one of the things which he talked about was about the Jawan and the Kisan. How there is this whole binary which is trying to be created between the soldier dying on the border and the Kisan dying of drought. How only one lot are being called as martyrs, whereas there are people who are also producing in the fields and who are dying. You just look at 2015, last year, just one region, Marathwada region, which is about 8 districts, Aurangabad, Jalna, Parbhani, Hingoli, Beed, Latur, Nanded and Osmanabad. Just these 8 districts last year in 2015, over 1,100 farm suicides. That means something like 21 per week or 3 per day. Okay, 3 per day in just one region in one state of India. This is what we saw in 2015. And there is no Shaheed Divas, nothing for these people. Okay? Just today, there's been a report of a farmer who was a defaulter, who defaulted on a tractor loan, who has committed suicide. Whereas we know there are people who have defaulted and where they are now. I don't need to take names. Live life king size. So this is what is happening today. See, if you look at what has happened in the last 2 years, we are having 4 consecutive bad crops. Okay, you start off with Kharif 2014. The 2014 monsoon failed. Okay, so that was one crop which went bad. Number one. Then the Rabi 2014 crop came, which is about to be harvested in March. In March you had unseasonal rains and you had hailstorm. So just when the crop was going to be ready, whether it was wheat, whether it was chana, whether it was mustard, whether it was mutter, all those crops got destroyed. So you had 2 bad crops in 2014-15. This year, again, 2015 was yet another bad monsoon year, basically the El Nino. You had good rains in June. Farmers all planted. There was a huge increase in sowing and all. Then after that, it was all dry, July, August, September. So that went, and then you had no winter rains at all. So because of that, even there was very little sowing now. And now if you see, yesterday there was rains, there has been hail, there's been hailstorm again. So we are talking of 4 consecutive bad crops. This is, probably this is happening maybe for the first time since 1986, 87, that period. So this is real stress which we are talking. But what is interesting is in the past, whenever you had crop failures, prices would go up. Okay, you would see that prices of most crops would shoot up and everything. Whereas today you are having it is a very funny thing. On the one hand, your production is falling, but even prices are falling. Okay, I'll give you a few examples. I know this is statistics, but just to give you some idea, take my state. We produce rubber. Okay, in 2011-12, Kerala was producing around 9 lakh tons of rubber. The average price was about 200 rupees a kg. So, which means equivalent to about, say, 18,000 crore. Today, your production has fallen from 9 lakh tons to 6 lakh tons. Your average price is around 100 rupees per kg. Okay, so which means 6,000 crore. So from 18,000 crore, your income. This is just this is not your profit. The income has dropped from 18,000 crore to 6,000 crore. That means 12,000 crore of income has just dried up. This is with say rubber. Take cotton. Okay, in 2011, 12, that period, farmers on an average were getting around 5,500 rupees per quintal of kapas. Okay, the kapas contains it contains the lint, it contains the seed, everything. They were getting around 5,500 rupees per quintal. Today, they are getting around 4,200 rupees. These are average prices. So if you look at how much money has, if you multiply it by the production, we should remember that there has also been drought and all these things. I have estimated that something like 23,000 crore has evaporated from cotton farmers. I told you about 12,000 crore from rubber farmers. You can add basmati. Okay, farmers this year have sold basmati at below the price of regular paddy. It's like thara being sold. I mean, it's like scotch being sold below price of thara. Okay, so you multiply it for basmati, you multiply it for soya bean, you multiply it for maize. You look at any crop today, you have a mixture of both production, lower production, and lower prices. So my estimate is at least around 2 lakh crore would have evaporated from the rural economy. That is what has been happening in the last 2 years. So you can imagine what would be the implications. That much less spending power, that much less money with farmers, and farmers obviously spend, right? They may be constructing homes, they may be buying bikes, they may be buying soap. So if you look at also how in turn, the effect backwards. Like I travel a lot in the sugar belt in UP. There are many towns and there are many towns which actually live on sugarcane. If you go into these interiors, and a sugarcane farmer today, the price which he is getting is 280 rupees per quintal, which is the same as what he was getting 4 years back. Okay, it's like we employees not getting a raise for 4 years, right? And at the same time, if you and even this 280 rupees, they are not being paid. Like in this season, which starts, I mean, the crushing normally starts from say around November. From November, when they started itself in UP, farmers were owed 3,000 crore rupees of payment for the last season. There are many farmers who have not got payment since March last year. Okay, no payment for over 1 year. So it is very easy to talk in terms of GDP growth, poverty ratio. Some will say, is it 25%? Is it 30%? Whereas here we are talking of real money, real money which has disappeared, right? It has evaporated. In fact, I think Hardik Patel happened because of cotton. I believe that this Jat agitation happened because of basmati. What do people do? What do farmers do when there is nothing? They normally farmers are very patient. They wait. I mean, they always have, as Kanhaiya said, there is always optimism. कि हो सकता है चलिए ये crop चला गया, maybe the next crop. But here we are talking of 4 consecutive monsoon failures, and a strange phenomenon where you have both prices and production coming down. Okay, so this is what happened. Now let us see. Now in the past we have had crisis in the past. 65, if you see, 65 and 66 were drought years. 86, 87 were drought years. Okay. But what the difference which I have found is the response. On March 22nd, that was the first time Narendra Modi had a Man Ki Baat on farmers issue. This happened after This happened in March 23rd. This was after there was, as I pointed out, there were those hailstorm attacks. There was the crops were destroyed, and he spoke for 45 minutes. And I counted. Out of that 45 minutes, for 10 minutes, he spoke on, very bad. I share the pain of, farmers who have, whose crops have been destroyed. But the remaining 35 minutes, he was talking on the land bill, why it is good for farmers, why it is very good for you. We are doing it for you. So when a farmer is in a crisis, you say, why it is good to take land from you. This was what was happening. In November last year, okay, this is in November 2014 to January 2015, that was a period where urea, the statutory MRP, maximum retail price, is about 270 rupees a bag. For the first time, you had such large-scale black marketing of urea. And I have never seen, urea was being sold through police thanas. Farmers were buying for 400 rupees, 500 rupees. Many times they would go to the mandi, they would get one bag. They needed 3 bags, they would get 1 bag. This kind of a thing, and the complete insensitivity. This kind of a thing I have never seen ever. This kind of thing, and which continued, because I think probably for the 1 year, the only thing the government had to talk about agriculture was land bill. Then they were talking about paramparagat krishi. Okay. Then, of course, the very big thing which they did was banning cattle slaughter. Okay, and cattle slaughter means not just cows, but even male calves, female calves, bulls, irrespective of any age. This time in Maharashtra, unfortunately, it is Maharashtra where this has been implemented. See, in the normal situation, if anybody is a farmer here, we are all city-based people. If you ask any farmer, what they typically do is, they milk their cows for about 5 lactations, 4 or 5 lactations. Afterwards, they sell it. Okay, and the buyers may be Muslims, may be Dalits. It could be a Muslim butcher, it could be a Dalit skinner, but these were all part of one system. In dairy farming, a farmer always tries to circulate his animals. You always and there was always a system where you could dispose of surplus animals, unproductive animals, and so the so-called Hindu farmer, the so-called Muslim butcher, the so-called Dalit skinners, they were not enemies. There was a system. Okay, I don't slaughter, somebody else slaughters. So you had this system. This was an ecosystem, and this was going on. And typically, when there was a drought, the farmer would for him the cattle was some kind of a buffer. He would sell. This year, farmers have been selling cows. Cows giving good milk. Okay, 4-year-old cows giving maybe 20 liters per day. They are being sold today in Maharashtra for 35,000 rupees, 40,000 rupees. Last year, at this time, if you see, typically they were being sold at 60,000, 70,000 rupees. The bulls, the same thing. And so now farmers are not able to dispose of their cattle. Why? Because there are no transporters. Today, typically farmers used to get these cattle in the mandis, and the people used to buy. See, no questions were asked. It was a very smooth kind of thing. Nobody asked any questions. It used to the sales used to happen. Now, if you go to the mandis where this thing, including the Pushkar fair, in the Pushkar, there are no animals now coming at all in the mandis. The farmers now, they just let loose their cattle because they cannot maintain it. Because maintaining one animal costs about 200 rupees per day. I don't have money to even feed my own family. So today you have even killed that insurance which was there, which the farmer had. So even that has today disappeared from this thing, because you are seeing everything in terms of religion, you are seeing everything in terms of you are viewing things not the way a farmer would want to do. So today what we really have is a full blown crisis. And if you see today, an average today cow milk is today being sold in Maharashtra for about 16 rupees a liter, whereas last year at this time it was being sold at 26 rupees, 27 rupees. Because why? Because your world milk powder prices have crashed. Yeah. So one thing was lack of sensitivity on to the fact that farmers are facing a problem. So this was on the case of the farmers. Second, as I think Ravi also was mentioning about MG Narega, 2009 we had a drought. It was a bad drought, but that year something like 284 crore man days of employment were generated under MG Narega, and on an average, households got about 53 days of work in a year. In 2014-15, that is last year, so 284 crore. In 2014-15, it was 166 crore. And supposed to be in a drought year. And on average, farmer and the people got about 40 days work. So we are talking of a completely different kind of a regime here. We are talking of a government which is completely indifferent to the farmer's plight. And this is something even BJP MPs themselves tell me. When I talk to them, what is happening? Why are you people? Because here, in fact, February last month was the first time that Mr. Modi addressed farmers' rallies. If you see, in the earlier year, throughout, he went all over the world. He went. He met Facebook CEO. He met everybody, but he never met any farmers' representatives. So I find this whole thing very strange. I mean, why are they doing this kind of a thing? See, you started off with a farm bill. When there is suppose I want to take any difficult decision. Okay, I believe that yes, I should be able to take land or something. Do you do this when there is a drought? When farmers are experiencing distress, and then you justify that I can take your land without consent? And same thing which we are now seeing now in Haryana, for example, farmers who are not repaying crop loans, not because they have diverted that money towards something, because your basmati, your prices are low. Their photos are now coming in papers. They are being named and shamed. Okay, whereas do we know the top 500 corporate defaulters in the country? No. If you ask banks, they'll say no. These are confidential agreements. Whereas farmers, there are people who are committing suicide because they owe 2 lakh rupees, 1.5 lakh rupees. It is. One just cannot understand why this is happening. I mean, how can you be so insensitive? See, after all, you need their votes, right? So when Mr. Modi first, many farmers voted for him because in 2014, in January, February 2014, he went on saying that from now, if we fix MSPs, it will be your production cost plus 50%. Okay, this is what he promised in 2014. What is the reality? In 2013-14, your wheat MSP, it was 1,400 rupees per quintal. Okay, this year it is 1,525. That is an increase of 125 rupees. But in 2013-14, in Madhya Pradesh and Rajasthan, the state governments were also declaring a bonus of 150 rupees over and above the centre's MSP. Okay, one of the first thing the center did after Mr. Modi after Mr. Modi came to power, he said that no states will be allowed to charge to give a bonus over and above the MSP. So which means, so if you add what farmers were really getting at that time, 1400 plus 150, which is 1550. Today they are being given 1525. Same with the case of paddy. Okay, they were earlier getting 1310, which was the center's MSP. Then state governments like Chhattisgarh were giving 300 rupees bonus over and above which. That means they were getting 1600. Today they are getting 1400. So that means your MSPs have actually come down. And strangely, you are doing it even despite the fact that Madhya Pradesh and Rajasthan are under BJP. Chhattisgarh is under Raman Singh. And I must say, they have done a very good job. As I mean, in terms of whether it is Mr. Shivraj Singh Chauhan or whether it was Raman Singh, they definitely did a good job as far as procuring. See, I never thought, and nobody ever thought that Madhya Pradesh would become the largest contributor of wheat after Punjab to the central pool. Same thing like in Chhattisgarh, the way the PDS was expanded. So so the center is undermining your own governments. You are undermining your own government's achievements. Okay, so even politically, it just doesn't make sense. Why you are doing that? So now what has happened is, I think after this Bihar election, now suddenly you are seeing that there is some rethink of the whole thing. But now what is Mr. Modi promising? He's promising a doubling of farmers' income when? In 2021. So from saying that I will give you 50% over cost to you, to the farmer, while fixing MSPs. Now he's saying, no, I will ensure that your income will be doubled in 2021. We don't know whether he'll be chief minister, prime minister at that time. But the way things are changing. So what is happening today is that farmers are in a crisis. They don't know what to do. Okay, they are agitating, but there is nobody to mobilize them. Okay, so you are seeing it in the form of Jat reservation movements, Patidar reservation movements, and which is very unfortunate. Some of us think that Jats and Patidars are all rich people, rich farmers, but that is not the case. Most of these Patidar farmers, which we are talking in Saurashtra and all, they may be owning about say 4 to 5 acres. Even assuming they make a profit of about 30,000 rupees per acre. That is how much? That is about, say, 1.5 lakh rupees. With 1.5 lakh rupees, can you send your son or daughter to a private engineering college? So simultaneously, this is happening. Even it is difficult today to even educate your children. So all these things is coming out, in the form of in the form of whatever, caste identities. Reservation. Same thing. You look, where did our riots take place in Western UP, in Muzaffarnagar? You are pitting Jats against Muslims. Jat farmers who have not got payments for the last 1 year. So you see there is a clear pattern to this thing. When there is a crisis, and I'm estimating that at least 2 lakh crore has been. Has dried up from the as farmer income. Okay, so therefore you try to find all kinds of alibis, trying to divert attention. When Ram Mandir doesn't work, then you try out something else. Then you try nationalism. And then you try to create, as Kanhaiya very rightly said, you create these false binaries between Kisan, Jawan, student, he's patriotic, she's not patriotic. So your entire discourse has changed, and we are debating, secularism, we are debating this thing, whereas Mr. Modi was elected on development. And many people, I mean, irrespective of religion, this thing, people voted, but you are not delivering on development and this kind of a crisis. Okay, so I thought that okay, maybe now they have changed. Maybe now slowly, they are realizing, they could be a problem. What will happen, in the coming elections. So what do we do? Then I was astounded. Just in January, this is right now. This is a time when your global prices of most commodities have crashed. In January, PEC Limited. PEC Limited is a state trading enterprise under the Commerce Ministry. They floated tenders for importing 5 lakh tons of maize. Okay, and these 5 lakh tons of maize. This is by a government body, and this is being imported, and these imports are now going to come, and they have been imported at an average price of about $193 per ton, which is less than even the minimum support price here, right? And these arrivals are now going to come right now in March and in April. This is the time when the Bihari farmer, the maize farmer, he would be harvesting his crop. And who are the importers? Cargill, Louis Dreyfus. So again, now we don't know why they are doing this. So somehow things are just not fitting in. And what is it that is moving them towards these kind of things, which is probably going to be even politically costly. And then instead trying to talk about, we will save the cattle, whereas actually you have created a situation where no farmer will ever keep a cow, because what does he do once the cow has stopped giving milk? What does he do once, suppose the cow has produced a male calf? Today, when there are tractors, today when there is artificial insemination, you don't need male bulls today, because you have artificial insemination. When you have tractors today, many farmers don't need to keep bullocks, which was necessary earlier. So today, what is going to happen is no farmer is going to keep cows. You will probably, to see cows, you'll have to go to Kerala or West Bengal. Or incidentally, the best indigenous breeds of Tharparkar and Sahiwal today, excellent cattle breeds today are found in Pakistan. They are not there in Mr. Khattar wants to declare the cow as a national animal of Haryana. There are no cows there. Okay, nobody keeps cows. There is too much of Jamela, because what do I do? See, how many cows can you keep in ashram? Finally, see, it's like for example, it's like the performing arts, right? I mean, Kathakali. See, Kathakali will survive only if there are artists, right? It is not going to. So same thing, the cow can survive only if there are people who are willing to rear them, right? You are not giving them an outlet. You are not giving them an opportunity to, I mean, how do you, an avenue to dispose of surplus cattle, which was always part of, and this is how we have endured as a cattle economy in the last, 3,000 years, and this thing. This was a regular part of the thing, exchange, trade. This is always a part. And in today's this thing world, it is even more, because otherwise it's not possible unless you allow some outlet for the thing. So I think what we are going to see in the next few years is you'll have more and more emphasis on organic, on organic, then on desi cattle, whereas farmers are not looking for these kind of thing. So I don't know. I'm genuinely scared of what is going to happen, and I hope there is not going to be a third monsoon failure. And this is easily. I mean, I think this is going to be the most important issue for this government, how they handle this rural crisis. So I think we can go in for discussion. Is it too short? I mean.